Hi Instagrammers, hi YouTubers, hi Facebookers, how are you? So, you may have seen from my latest vlog that I did Trans Day of Remembrance, but what you don't know, unless you join me on social media, on Instagram at Lenny_Auckland, or on Twitter at Lenny Auckland, and Lenny is spelled Lennie, you would have seen that I went to the Socialist rally in London on the 21st of November. I went with my friend Clara. We're both members of the party. I rejoined after a number of years of absence from the party. Clara is a first-time member of the party. She joined recently. We went to the rally. Here it is. Here it is. I hope that's the right way around. You get that. And it was good. We didn't go on the Saturday. It was over the weekend. We didn't go on the Saturday. We went up on the Sunday, and we sat in. The sessions we attended was how do we change the world? So Sunday 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. we did why does LGBTQ plus phobia still exist? And the speaker was Michael Johnson, Socialist Party LGBTQ plus member group, and the convener chair was Maddie Steed. It was a very interesting debate. Half of me wanted to join into the debate and say a few things. I didn't. I kind of decided I would sit back and I would watch how it went and how it all unfolded and what people's opinions were and what sort of arguments they put forward and what we discussed. And it was fascinating to see the different perspectives of the members of the party, new and old. We discussed issues surrounding the fact that bigotry still exists, of course, that we mentioned about the trans community, we talked about how pride has become very commercialised and how some prides are trying to organise more of a political lean to them. We also discussed issues around women's rights, and that was the meeting that we went to afterwards, which was... let me find it. Me and Clara attended How We Can Fight to End Violence Against Women and Sexism. The speaker was Corinthia Ward, Socialist Party National Women's Bureau, and the chair was Heather Rawling. And so that was very interesting. Both me and Clara weren't sure if we were going to speak at that session. We decided we would hold back a bit. But as the session went on, it became evident that Clara wanted to speak about her experience around women's issues and sexual violence towards women, surrounding her work in the sex industry. That moment in the debate got a bit fruity. Clara, it was noticeable that the people in the room who commented in support of sex work and the rights of sex workers were predominantly people who identify somewhere on the trans spectrum. The only people that voiced concern or dislike at the idea of sex work as an issue surrounding this women's violence was a cis white guy. But all the trans people in the room spoke up for sex workers. And I have been involved in a number of discussions with members of the regional branch here in Southampton. And also we, last Thursday, today is the 30th of November, so the Thursday just gone, the Socialist Party held a meeting where it was on a day that brings awareness to violence against women. And we got into the conversation of sex work. And it's interesting how, when it comes to this particular issue, some people in the Socialist Party see it as a capitalist issue. And that sexism wouldn't exist if, for instance, trans people had the basic rights to healthcare, and had basic rights to employment and housing. And that it's a construct of capitalism. If capitalism didn't exist, sex work wouldn't exist. But as I pointed out to one of the members of the Socialist Party, the concept of sex work as we know it nowadays has existed at all points in human history that we can trace as far back as millennia ago, that we can trace. There has been some form of sex work in some form, whether it be a religious aspect or whether it be a social aspect, throughout humanity's existence. There's been some form of it. So that implies to me that it is not a capitalist construct, that it transcends capitalism. And so when you address the issues of violence against women and equality around women's rights, you must consider sex work. Also for men's rights as well, because there's a lot of guys who work in the sex industry, as some of you may have noticed. It's an all-encompassing issue. But that session did get a bit interesting because, as I say, the people who identified somewhere along the trans spectrum were the ones talking in defence of sex work and the rights of sex workers. And those who were opposed to it tended to be white cis people. I say that in particular because there was a number of people who identified on the LGBT spectrum and the trans spectrum who were of colour. So it was noticeable that the people who were uncomfortable that it was a cis white guy, and well, that was about it really, who were really uncomfortable with a cis white guy. I bring this up because it's just one of these issues that has fascinated me over the course of my period joining the party and since the rally. That there is this dichotomy, if you like, between the rights of women and then the rights of sex workers, and then the issue of feminism also surrounding sex work and misogyny and stuff like that. And although my friend Clara has experienced these things, she does the job that she does on the side, as it were, because she wants to. It's something she wants to do. She's chosen to do this. No one's forced her. Society hasn't forced her. She's chosen to do it. So I kind of defend her right to be able to stand by that and make that decision in her life if she chooses to do it. Now, don't get me wrong, she's not up to all sorts of shenanigans. Most of the time she just goes out for meals with gentlemen and keeps them company in an evening in a restaurant or in a bar, in a swanky bar. She gets paid for her time with the customer, with the client, and then she goes home at the end of it. Very rarely does it result in any shenanigans. But there is this separation with some people on the left that the sex work does involve around this concept of femininity, and I think it's wrapped up in a religious aspect of morality. And once you get over the hurdle of the morality aspect of it, I think you can come to an understanding that for some people it is very much just a job that they have chosen to do and they're rather good at. And if they want to do that, they should have the right to do it. There's also the debate about paying for sex, but men pay for sex, women pay for sex. It's not a one gender basis. There's equal amounts on both sides. So yeah, we went to the rally, and that was the most interesting thing that came out of it. It was a fascinating debate we had. I wish I could go into more detail. I can't quite clearly remember what some of the trans folk in the debate brought up, but yeah, it was a fascinating debate on the concept of sex work and the place of femininity and misogyny in the same breath. As I say that, there was a lot of trans people at the rally that were identified as trans who came out and all the rest of it. There was a lot of us there from the community, which was good to see. And I'm glad some people in the trans community are beginning to find what they believe is a home, a political home. It's good to see that. The other thing that was good to see from the rally was there was a lot of millennials and there was a hell of a lot of Zoomers there. So there was a lot of young people there. There were the boomers, there was Gen Zers, like Gen Xers like me, but most of the people that were at the rally tended to be millennials and zoomers, and that's good, a young generation. It's true what people are saying about the demographic. It's beginning to shift left as the generations merge. They're beginning to shift ever increasingly left, so that's a good thing. So yeah, that was the rally. We got stuck in an accident for an hour afterwards. My thanks to Declan for taking us up there. He was a wonderful host. Me and Clara really did enjoy ourselves, and we did have a good laugh as well. So which kind of passed the time sitting on the M25 northbound in breakdown traffic. But the accident was quite bad, but I don't think anybody was injured. But yeah, we were stuck at an accident. But Declan was a brilliant host taking us up there. He was really cool. So thank you for watching, everybody. I will try and get another video out if I can before Christmas. I don't know if I'm going to be able to for certain reasons. I will try. Also, I would like to announce at the end of this vlog that if you haven't seen it already, I have been announced after my video for Trans Day of Remembrance that Southampton Pride used. It has been announced on their website that I am on the committee for Southampton Pride. I would like to thank Danny and all those at Southampton Pride for making me feel very welcome the other day when Danny set me up with WhatsApp for the group meetings. I felt very welcomed. It was very nice of you all to say hello. I hope I can do good things for Pride. I hope I live up to everybody's expectation. I don't know what that expectation is, but I will do my best to work with Pride and create the best Pride events we can in the city. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye!